Tuesday, and let's look at what the pairs have performed over the Monday and the Sunday evening. So let's look at dollar, and the dollar. The last time I said that the dollar will fall, but unfortunately the dollar opened up higher during the U.S. evening markets open, and it went up for a bit now, but it's keeping itself under the 48 EMA. So what does this tell us is that the dollar is showing weakness by tapping into the MAs but couldn't close above it. And right now it is looking to make a low. So I'm looking at the dollar right now is that can it close below this 13 EMA? If it is, then I will expect further downside for the dollar. However, I'm keeping dollar open, but I am keeping myself open to dollar rising more, potentially back up to the 100 mark before making its decision, because the 100 mark used to be and is a strong resistance point for the dollar. So, because looking on the daily, um, the dollar has closed pretty bullish in terms of the daily candlestick yesterday. It closed above um, the 48 EMA here. However, it did not close above the 13 EMA. So what this tells us is that it has also taken out this candlestick. So it shows that momentum has shifted to the upside. So I am expecting momentum should continue, and otherwise, unless um, this candlestick closes below, takes out 1 2 3 candlestick and close below the 13 EMA, then we expect further downside. Otherwise, I am pretty bullish on the dollar to reach 100 mark. So let's look at gold now. So for yesterday, gold has been quite indecisive. It has formed a real huge indecisive candlestick here. It has totally invalidated my claim of the gold going down and pushing up. So however, it touched on the 1713 mark yesterday. Let me just go in later to show you. So what this tells us about the daily is that gold initially had a downside, a very bearish candlestick closing down. However, it tapped this region. Yesterday, it tapped this region as well, pierced through this region, but it did not close below this region. So for this candlestick, it closed up. Then yesterday's candlestick, it revisited the zones up and down because it showed that okay, bullish momentum is now over. Now I'm indecisive. So where am I gonna go? So I am projecting a 3-pin formation here. I am thinking that gold will either make a further downside here to revisit this zone for this zone before continuing downwards. I am ultimately thinking that gold might reach 1660s because it's right now a risk-off environment for the US and also for the global, because things like starting to look better. So gold will have downside instead of further upside. So my previous video claim was not valid. And let's look into the 4-hourly. So right now gold is trapped in this region, in this consolidation region, and yesterday gold opened here, opened on this candlestick, found support on this 1693 line that I've drawn from the previous resistance here. So gold is now flitting around this region. So I'm expecting gold to break out of this consolidation range here, break out and retest this line before moving further downside. So I will only take a short on gold from this level if it breaks out and retests this zone and go down further. So I am bearish on gold. My first target will be 1680s and my second target will be 1660s. But we will see how it plays out. We will see the momentum. But I am optimistic on gold is that I will look to buy more gold at 1660s because I don't think the risk off environment will last that long. So on the long term, I'm bullish on gold, but in the short term, it seems like the bear trend will continue. Another confluence is that yesterday, um, the price has tried to visit the 0.618 zone. So I am pretty sure that this bearish trend will continue as it did not break this trend line or close above this region. So 1650s is also on the cards, but let's not be too greedy and go on for the 1660s. And yeah, that is for gold. It's bearish. Let's look at GA. So for GA, yesterday it started like this. So for yesterday, it closed bearish. It tapped into 1.9535, in which, and then it just rolled down. So it originally it closed above the 13 MAs, but it couldn't make a further upside move and it closed bearish. Right now we are still trading below the 13 MA. So on the 4 hourly, GA opened here, went bearish, tested this upper bound to go down bearish. So it has broken this trend. So right now we are in bearish territories right now. Let's try to retest the previous low, because if we draw on the box here, let me just set that as test on the box, so you can see how accurate this is. So GA was originally came up to this box, tested, consolidated for a while, break down through the box, retested the lower boundary, and is now expected to further melt down. So I am pretty bearish on GA right now. However, I will take in account of there is a previous resistance level here on 1.926, and GA might reach this region and find it as support before moving further upside. On the weekly, I am pretty bullish on GA in the sense that last week's candles closed pretty bullish in terms of it wasn't a indecisive candle because it closed upwards. So I am expecting GA to continue its bullish trend, and the RBA is expected to keep its cash rate, which is the bank rate, interest rates, fixed at 0.25%, and also the QE measures. The Australian government is looking to ease it. However, I think that's too early right now in terms of stripping away all these emergency aids. So I am expecting Aussie dollar to further decline, if that makes sense. So I will look to buy GA around here. However, if GA gives me a good short opportunity at 1.94, I will take it. I'll take it and write it down to here. But I am pretty sure that GA won't make another upside move for the buy to happen. And on the 4 hour, it looks pretty bearish, as the previous 4 hour candlesticks has closed below the wicks here. It's taken out 1-2 wicks. So right now I'm expecting further downside on GA. So let's move on to GU now. So let's go to GU. On GU, we have yesterday's closure as a continuation of the bearish trend. Yesterday's closure, it has closed below the 48 EMAs but remain up on the 13 EMAs. That shows us that the bear trend is starting to slow down. It has only closed about, I would say, 50% of its body size in terms of the candlesticks. So what I'm expecting for GU is that it will look for a reversal upside. However, I had a buy entry at 1.24, but the price visited 1.2405 and it completely missed my buy entry, but that's fine. I do think that GU might not be able to revisit this zone. However, I'm keeping a close eye on it. I will only take a buy on GU because um, however, because I'm a bit bullish on the dollar, so I might see that GU revisit this zone before buying. So I'm keeping my buy limits tight at 1.24. I think 1.24 is a pretty um, strong psychological level of support. So I am keeping an eye on that. And looking at the current price action of GU, it looks like um, the previous 4 hour has closed above the 48 EMAs but still remain below the 13 EMAs. I would want to see if GU can close above the 13 EMA. Otherwise, it will continue its uptrend all the way back up to 1.2486 before meeting prior resistance and making its mind up. So yeah, I will look to also, if there's a chance and there's chance of slowing down on GU, that I might take a small short position from 1.246 simply because the daily is still bearish. But I don't think it will close this bullish high because of the dollar. The dollar might be getting strength back on. So I am looking also to take a short from here. It depends on whether the opportunity arises and whether the 4 hourly and the hourly matches up. Is that it slows down in terms of price and is showing weakness here. If I were to take a short from here, I would also put my take profit level at about 0.618, but at that time I would remove my buy entry. So I wouldn't want to have a conflict of interest. So that is if GU shows weakness here. Otherwise, I will still leave my buy limits here and take a ride on GU all the way to the upside. So I will see how that plays out, and yeah. So this is my current outlook and current update on all my pairs on Tuesday. Thank you.